Welcome back. What is the most used word in all of Scripture? Now that's a question you should go up and ask a Christian pastor. What is the most used word in Scripture? And most people will immediately think to their English translation or possibly their indigenous language. What we're talking about here is the most inspired Hebrew word. Hebrew, Iberith. And whatever word they're using in English, it's probably Lord, but that's not anything at all. That's just a replacement term. Read your preface, of course. I keep pointing to that. Open your preface and they'll say, hey, we just wiped out the real name of the Creator and put in this device. In English, they got from the Latin Vulgate word Dominus, which means Lord. Well, the Latin Vulgate is not the source of anything. It's just an interpretation. And it's been mutilated, as it has the English. And the Greek. The Septuagint, they removed it too. They took the name out and put in Kyrios, which is another indication that means Lord, and it replaces his name. They did not want you to know his name. Somebody doesn't. He wants you to know his name. We're going to show it to you today, and I've shown it to you many times. This is the tetragrammaton. That's a Greek word, though. It means 4 letters. It's 4 Hebrew letters. Now, this is real Hebrew. It's not Aramaic. That was brought back from Babel. This is Hebrew. It's called the tetragrammaton, but the name is read from, well, right to left. So it starts over here, Yod, Hey, Ua, Hey. These are vowels. They're not consonants. A lot of teachers are saying, yeah, that's consonants. No, that's not. Yod, Hey, Ua, Hey. We get the Greek and Latin A-E-I-O-U from these Hebrew letters. They're based on these. They came from these. This is the letter U. And it was shaped like a V in Latin because the stem at the bottom was removed when it went into Latin from Greek. This is the Greek upsilon. It came from the Hebrew. Well, anyway, you see the name. That's what it looks like. And the name of the Son, here comes the Son, S-O-N. It's right below the name. And you can see the first 3 letters are the same over here. See, it's Yod, Hey, Ua, and then an ending Hey. And the deliverer's name is Yahu, the same over here. It's Yod, Hey, Ua, same 3. And then it adds the suffix Sha. Now that's from the word Yasha. We're confused because of our teachers. Our teachers are leading us into confusion. This is a little card we have for the name study. It's a name training card. We keep these at Torah Institute. Well, it's torazone.net. Anyway, that's something you can keep handy if you're beginning. Even if you're not beginning, this is a good handy thing to keep in stock because people are always around you are going to be in complete ignorance. What is the most used word in inspired Hebrew? Well, English is not inspired because it's an interpretation. Latin is not inspired, it's an interpretation. Greek is not inspired, it's an interpretation. And so we go through all the other languages of the planet. They're not inspired because they're interpretations. The only inspired word we have is the Hebrew. That's the source of the truth. People are running around saying Yeshua. That's a common word. It's H3444 in the Strong's Concordance, and it means salvation or deliverer. Yeshua? Nobody's getting stoned over that, okay? And this is what they think it looks like in Hebrew letters, but that's Aramaic. That's not Hebrew. That's Yod, Shin, Ua, Ayin. And that's just a diminutive form or a hypocharisma form of the real name, Yahusha. Yahusha I just showed you, and that was based upon this word, Husha. That was the prophet that brought us into the land, succeeded Moses. Husha, and it's He, Ua, Shin, Ayin. Now I'm writing it in Aramaic, so you'll be able to see it in your interlinears. But Numbers 13:16 is the place to look. That's the first place that name change occurred. Now Yahuwah, this word that I just showed you, this is the most used word in all of inspired Scripture. It's Yahuwah. And its meaning is I was, I am, and I will be. Just read Revelation 1 verse 8 and it'll pop right into your head. I am he who was. I am he who is. And I am the one who is coming. Al Shaddai. I'm him. And he turned and he looked and he saw Yahusha. Well, there's no doubt. Now, the most used word, I'm going to keep saying this, in all of inspired Scripture is Yahuwah. Now that's H3068. That's the Hebrew number they assigned it in Strong's Concordance. Strong's Concordance was based on the King James Version. They were just hunting down each Greek and Hebrew word to get a definition for it and how many times it was used. And you'll see that H3068 goes on for column after column and page after page. No other word even comes close. And they took it out, and they brought it to you as L-O-R-D. Now, what does L-O-R-D mean anyway? Well, its definition in Hebrew is B-E-L, or B-A-A-L. That's the way it's written in Hebrew. And that's not good. Well, let's see. Numbers 13, verse 16 is something to look at in your interlinear, in the Iberith, or the Hebrew. And this is not the name of our deliverer either. See, H3444. That's not the one. That's about 28 times you'll find that. And that is a word that means salvation. It's one of the words you can check at the end of Psalm 91. And I will show him my salvation. Well, nobody's going to get stoned for saying salvation in Hebrew. That's the key. This word is not his name, but most people think it is. And they're teaching on the internet all day long. And they're showing you this, Aramaic. The script of our captors. Come on, that's not Hebrew. The word is Hebrew, it's a transliteration. So we have Yahuwah and Yahusha in Hebrew. All right. There's something else I could show you that has to do with those that deny his name. In Revelation, there's one of the assemblies that does not deny his name. The most used word in Scripture, H3068. They've heaped up for themselves teachers in large numbers, and they deny his name. Natsarim refused to deny his name. He called us Natsarim. Ani Hagafen, I am the vine. Ata HaNatsarim, you are the Natsarim. Yahusha is our deliverer, and not the fake imposter name, J-E-S-U-S. It's very popular. It's a word less than 500 years old, invented during the lifetime of Inigo Loyola, S.J. Societas Esu. That's what S.J. stands for. Now later, the founder of the Illuminati, who was also a Society Esu, Jesuit, he said, "O mortal man, is there anything that you cannot be led to believe?" Unquote. If you Google Yahusha, as you see it here, it's Hebrew. It's a transliteration into English, of course. And it's first found as a name at Numbers 13:16, which we just invited you to go look. And read Acts 4:12, because Acts 4:12 says there's only one name given under heaven by which men must be delivered. What? Is it Greek? No. Is it Latin? No, it's Hebrew. There's only one name. He didn't come and say, hey, I'm J-E-S-U-S. What? You can't say that? Well, sure you could. That's just a made-up name. It didn't exist in his day. He never heard it on his eardrums. He's hearing it a lot now, though. In 2 Timothy 3, we read these words starting at verse 12. Quote, and indeed, all those wishing to live reverently in Mashiach Yahusha shall be persecuted. But evil men and impostors shall go on to the worse, leading astray and being led astray. But you, he's talking to Timothy, but you stay in what you have learned and trusted, having known from whom you have learned it, and from a babe you have known the Kodesh writings, which are able to make you wise for deliverance through belief in Mashiach Yahusha. All writing, that's Hebrew writing, he's talking about scripture, or graphe in Greek, is breathed by Yahuwah and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for setting straight, for instruction and obedience, that the man of Yahuwah might be fitted, equipped for every good work. Continuing on from 2 Timothy into the 4th chapter, it starts out in verse 1, in the sight of Yahuwah and Adoni, that means master, Yahusha HaMashiach, who shall judge the living and the dead at his appearing and his reign. I earnestly charge you, proclaim the word. Be urgent, in season, out of season. Correct, warn, appeal with all patience and teaching. For there shall be a time when they shall not bear sound teaching, but according to their own desires they shall heap up for themselves teachers, tickling the ear, and they shall indeed turn away their ears from the truth and be turned aside to myths. Well, thanks for watching this, and we'll see you in the next exciting video.